gather round for an epic show. Oh yeah, here we go. The stubborn heroes coming out on top. Yeah, we always win. Delving into the darkest dungeons. Always fight to win. Oh yeah, here we go. Now it's time for the Stubborn Heroes.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Stubborn Heroes, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast. My name is Adam and I am the Dungeon Master, and the stubborn hero we have today is Michael, who plays Thanthui.
Oh.
Yes, innocent little Thanthui. Yeah, it's just Michael and I this time. This is a first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a million degrees in this place.
It's so hot right now.
I'm dying.
And you turned off your AC for the recording. So editing Adam will really appreciate that you've done us. You did that for me. So yeah, I mean, today is a little bit different. As you know, we've had the 3 origin stories before with Rasuan, Benjamin Grimshaw, and Tyrannus. Now we're moving into the last 3 origin stories. And the first one we're doing is the cleric known as Thanthui. And I think this one's going to surprise a lot of people. I don't think you're all going to know what's coming, but it's going to be fun, and let's see what happens. You ready, Michael?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. We open to Tanglewood Estate, where the home has been fixed up and the once desecrated garden is now flourishing with plants and fauna. The plants and flowers making their way inside. It is in here that we see Tyrannus and Zoe and Thanthui working away on some sort of new room within the home. Tyrannus looks over to you, Thanthui.
Thanthui, thank you for helping me make this terrarium, and I couldn't have done it without you. I know you have a keen eye for nature and how to make places feel at home.
No problem. I like having little plants and little gardens everywhere. It brings me back to my home.
Yes, you mean the island of Gi Dao, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that place.
You've never really spoken about it with me before. Your past, that is. Perhaps later we could sit down and I could learn more about you and your people.
Yeah, I would love to tell you everything.
Well, Thanthui, we're going to need this fountain filled with water. Perhaps you could be of service.
Oh, I can do that. My mace will be able to fill it very easily with some nice, clean water. So Thanthui's gonna pull out his mace and give it a little twirl and fills up the fountain.
He's just sort of standing there almost like it's a hose. Water's just flowing from the mace magically, slowly filling up this large marble sort of fountain that's there.
Tyrannus would enter and begin filling the water with these large jugs that he's collected. And in the jugs, he starts pouring out different types of fish, frogs, and other aquatic animals, even tadpoles.
While you're filling it, Zoe absentmindedly is just lurking around, and she starts licking the water and drinking it a bit. Before turning back to a dirt pile that she sees on the ground, she starts sniffing at it, and she starts digging. Something is buried here.
Zoe, what are you doing?
Zoe, what have you found over there?
She starts digging, and then finally she turns around, almost startled that you've caught her digging this hole, and she just sort of scurries away. And you would notice there, sticking up from the dirt, Thanthui, are the bones of Mr. Fuzzlebutt, the cat that you encountered in the basement that Zoe dispatched. Seems that she was buried here by someone.
Tyrannus starts digging some holes while Thanthui's kind of over on his own to put more plants in the terrarium.
So kind of as Tyrannus turns away out of eyesight, Thanthui will like kind of raise his hand and then just kind of do an incantation, and he's going to bring Fuzzlebutt, reanimate Fuzzlebutt.
Suddenly, the sickly green magic emanates from your left hand as you're holding the cleansing waters with your right hand, and the energy just flows around the bones of this cat. Its bones crack and creak, its head shakes and rattles back and forth as this sickly, fiery glow within its eyes, and its jaw just falls to the side as it slowly rises up. These bones and decaying flesh, and it's just Mr. Fuzzlebutt lets out a...
Thanthui's going to he's going to kneel down and just put his hand out to Fuzzlebutt.
Fuzzlebutt just slowly walks up and then just bows its head into the palm of your hand, and then snuggles against the palm of your hand. The palm being sickly and black from holding the staff of rot and decay.
There, little Fuzzlebutt. We'll be great friends.
Tyrannus calls out,
Thanthui! Thanthui! What's going on?
What?
You turn your back and you notice that the bluish glow coming out of the mace of cleansing waters flashes this acidic green, as suddenly you realize during the time that you were casting this spell, you've been pouring green acidic water into the terrarium's fountain. Slowly it bubbles, and you see all of the fish that Tyrannus put in start rising up to the surface. A frog leaps down into it and just before dissolving into the mucousy liquid that's bubbling now.
Tyrannus, sorry, I made a mistake.
Tyrannus, not knowing what to do, starts grabbing some of the more exotic fish to save them, but I'm assuming burns his hand in the acid.
Gah!
No, don't touch it. Thanthui will pull the mace away and try to put it back onto his...
You notice when you pull the mace away, it just the liquid inside of it glows a light greenish blue now, as if your magic is corrupting it.
Thanthui, is there something you're not telling me?
No. I don't know what's going on. This has never happened.
As the ghostly Mr. Fuzzlebutt slowly walks up.
Tyrannus looks horrified, seeing the revived cat.
Fuzzlebutt I can explain. I wanted to bring it back to life because it died too quickly and too sadly.
And you see Zoe start to just almost lurch down at Fuzzlebutt, and you...
I'm gonna take Fuzzlebutt with me. I'm gonna take it to my room. I want to keep it safe.
Tyrannus is speechless and shocked.
Thanthui's just gonna pick up Fuzzlebutt and gonna slowly walk away and be like, I'll figure out what happened to my mace. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Tyrannus watches as Thanthui leaves. He tries to maybe reach out his arm to get his attention, but Thanthui slips past him. And Tyrannus is just going to look down at the acidic water and what remains of the fish and creatures, which, assuming, isn't much. And he's left on his own with Zoe.
You make it to your room, and you slam the door. You're holding this skeletal cat, who then leaps out of your arms and starts walking around your room, touching runes that you seem to have burned into the ground and the walls.
Well, Anthony's going to tell Fuzzlebutt to make yourself at home. You can be here as long as you want. You'll be my friend. I just gotta protect you for a moment. So Thanthui, he's going to protect Fuzzlebutt in case Zoe decides to follow. He's just gonna pull out a magical tome and he's going to cast a spell similar to what was blocking us from entering the basement. And he's going to try to cast that to make sure that nobody can enter his room or hear him or anything.
Yeah, this magical seal just sort of... It's almost as if all the sound, the garden out back, the sounds from the hallway or the home suddenly are deafened, and you're just in this completely quiet environment in your room as these runes sort of move up and down the walls. And now you're finally alone.
Thanthui's a little nervous about the fact that just randomly ooze acid came out of his mace. So Thanthui's gonna pull out the Demonomicon.
You've hidden it under your bed, I believe, last time, right? So it's sort of wrapped in this cloth. You slowly remove it. Again, this is a very dastardly looking tome with crimson and obsidian. It seems like leather, but it's likely some sort of demonic hide bound book with a mechanism on it in the shape of a lich's hand, and the locking mechanism is in the shape of a lich's eye. And this is the Demonomicon of Vecna.
He wants to try to see if he can open the latch of the book, or if it's like a magical incantation that he has to do to be able to open it.
You've already sort of inspected the book, and when you're about to do that, you stop, and you once again, as you had in the past, sort of read the strange runes that are all on the outside of the book, and the warning that comes with that. It is the thing that made you not want to open it last time.
Okay. Thanthui's gonna call Ophelia.
Call Ophelia? Ring, ring. Hello, Ophelia.
All right. Thanthui is going to pull out the black crystal that Ophelia gave him. He's going to talk to her.
You sort of squeeze it. It glows this black and green color in your palm before floating up in the air. And then cascading out of it is just magic as the room fills with this green and purplish haze. And then standing before you is the embodiment of Ophelia. Almost like a magical projection that's taken on this greenish hue. Well. You have called me again, my little disciple.
Yeah, I did.
Come to learn more? And she sort of looks around the room, then looks at the Demonomicon sitting on the bed. You have not yet opened it.
No, I'm too afraid to open it right now.
Oh, I am a bit disappointed. I thought you wanted to learn about power. I thought you wanted to learn its secrets. The only way to do that is to break the rules, my dear. And the only way to do that is to open it. But I don't know. Is that why you called me today?
Not really.
She sort of sees the cat. Oh.
Yeah.
A dastardly thing.
What do you mean? It's beautiful.
Cats, not every witch's friend, Thanthui. You'll learn that in a few decades after I teach you a thing or two. But it all begins with you opening the Demonomicon. Tell me, what is troubling you? Why haven't you opened the book?
I just don't believe. Well, like, I grew up believing everything good and everything righteous, and I'm afraid of what this book might do to myself. You can see I've already kind of brought that cat to life. Even when I was outside in the terrarium, my mace started pouring out like this green acid. So I'm more
No
afraid.
power comes without great sacrifice, my disciple. You will have to give in order to receive. You can't just take what you want. That's not how this world works. I do wonder, because it seems to come up a lot that your past stops you from doing what needs to be done. Where did you come from?
You really want to know?
Well, I'm here in a prison cell in the stockades of Storm Talon Keep. I have time to spare for a little story.
Well, let's go for a story. I guess we'll start at the beginning then.
We pan over a maelstrom in the ocean, thousands of feet wide and surrounded by a hurricane. The waves rise hundreds of feet before dividing into the black abyss below. Cyclones of water rise as lightning strikes in all directions. It is chaotic and disorderly. No land as far as the eyes can see. We continue panning over this chaos before reaching a misty haze of fog and storm clouds on the edges, like a wall. We continue pushing through until suddenly tranquility. Light rays fall down on the calm ocean from the heavens. The gentle waves are relaxing as seagulls pass over the water. On the horizon is a landmass. An island. No. As you get closer and closer, the island is moving its large head, emerging from the waters and letting out a loud bellowing. This was Gi Dao, the turtle god of balance and life. The legends say that in ages past, Shang, the first emperor of Xing, had a pet turtle since he was a child. As time passed, Shang's love for his turtle only grew, and so did his pet. Gi Dao grew and grew until he was the size of the Eternal Palace itself. With no more room, Shang, now an old man, knew that this would not last forever. And so the emperor called out to the spirit of the ocean itself. In those days, she was known as Benowak. Today, she is known as Orel, the elemental lord of water. Shang begged Orel to help Gi Dao, to let him live in her oceans so he could grow as big and strong as he could. Orel accepted this and accepted Gi Dao into her care. As the first emperor passed on to the next life, Gi Dao began his new one. Since then, he's meandered through the oceans, all throughout the realm, continuing to grow larger and larger until eventually he had children of his own. This race of humanoids, known as turtles, are protected by Gi Dao and the unending storm that surrounds him like an aura. Rarely have any non-turtles ever stepped foot on the island, only by luck or divine happenstance, and rarer still have any ever stayed for long. Shipwrecks are seen rising up from the small little maelstrom-like funnels that surround the island, this being the only way in and out of the wall of storms that surrounds it. These shipwrecks are full of all sorts of knickknacks and histories and books and gear from all of the lost voyages at sea. We zoom into the living island of Gi Dao and pan over the city of Tortaka, a beautiful landscape of roaring hills and flourishing plant life. Small scattered homes made of thatch and seaweed litter the land and all the farmsteads. The city center made of stone and marble, a temple of worship to Gi Dao. While normally the turtles would be hard at work, today is different, for today is the day of the great pilgrimage. Once a year, a single turtle is chosen by Gi Dao himself to go on a journey into the outside world and bring back something of great potential and knowledge. The pilgrimage has helped the turtles stay connected and knowledgeable of the outside world for eons. All across Tortaka, hundreds of large air balloons sit outside of every home, families starting to gather as they will soon fly to the other end of the island to hear the turtle god speak. Thanthui, you see the balloons and homes in the distance as you sit in a green field. You take a deep breath as you look out on the horizon. All your life you have collected items, knickknacks, and anything of value. You have waited for your time to come, for your destiny to come. Trained as a cleric in the temple, like all turtle children are, you learn their ways, but your heart has never been here. You've spent your life searching through the shipwrecks and the lost cargo of previous outsiders and learned the great stories of the realm, the war of light and shadow with the elves, the dragon wars, and finally the unfated war that occurred a few hundred years ago. War. You've only read about it, but it has always interested you. The battles between good and evil, darkness and light. But to you, they are simply two sides of one coin. This was it. This was your time. Today, you would be chosen by Gi Dao to go out into the world. A butterfly floats around you, and it lands on one of your spikes. Your eyes flicker open as it then floats and lands on your hand.
Thanthui's gonna look at the butterfly in his hand.
And just sort of scurries up your hand gently.
And he just kind of looks at it a little bit, kind of studies it. And then eventually Thanthui just squeezes his hand over it and just slowly squeezes.
The crunching of its wings and body is heard in the palm of your hand. A silent death that nobody else will know about. One of many you have enjoyed.
Thanthui! Thanthui, get your ass out here! Thanthui!
What do you want?
You would hear your mother's beautiful voice calling out from across the farmstead.
Thanthui, get your ass out here!
Thanthui's going to reopen his hands and just smush the dead butterfly onto the ground.
Yeah, you do, and you get dirt
off
on your hands. And its body just starts being eaten by the other insects there.
And he'll slowly get up and walk over towards his mother.
As you start walking towards your home, you would see your mother is there, your father as well. A really plump turtle. She has an extremely spiky shell, just like you. She doesn't wear glasses. That you get from your father, the spectacles. As your father comes out like an oaf, holding what seems to be a crate of fireworks that he's slowly bringing up. We're gonna have a great celebration tonight. It's gonna be awesome. And your mother just sits there with her hands on her hips.
Where the hell were you?
I was just out sitting and admiring the beauty of nature.
Yeah, sure. Listen, if we find any more dead rabbits or squirrels around, I'm gonna have your head, kid.
Yes, mother.
Suddenly you get slapped on your back by your big brother. He's a brutish, tall, powerful looking turtle. Also a cleric from the temple, and known throughout your town as being this almost perfect example of who should be sent out on the pilgrimage. He is also known as your greatest enemy and tormentor, as you feel his firm slap against your shell. Yeah, no more killing small animals, brother, says Namdor.
But, after we send us back, why don't you just, mind your own business and let me live my life, brother? Instead of tormenting me all the time.
Tormenting you? What are you talking about? And then he takes your glasses off of your face and holds them above your head. I don't know what you're talking about.
My glasses! I can't see without my glasses.
He is so hulking, so tall, he could just easily hold them above your head as you're leaping up to try to grab your glasses.
Come on, just give me my glasses.
Oh, you want your glasses? And he throws them into the field. Go get your glasses, nerd. He pushes you against your shoulder as he walks over to start grab some stuff from your mother.
Namdor, you leave him alone. Well, go get your fucking glasses. Come on. Gi Dao is waiting.
Phanthery's going to get on his hands and knees and crawl around looking for his glasses because he can't stand up watching them. And he's just going to mutter to himself, and he'll be like, someday I'll get back at you. Someday. Eventually,
you eventually find your glasses. And by the time you put them on, you see that your mother and father have already left on their balloon. And the only balloon left is that with your brother. Oh, there's the nerd. All right, get on. Let's go. My destiny awaits, brother.
Yeah, whatever, man.
You slowly just sort of walk up and you step into the basket of the blimp, and then your brother pulls a lever as flames ignite, and this orange blimp starts to float up into the air. You suddenly find yourself floating among hundreds of other blimps. You don't see your parents, they're long gone. As you're floating over the island with your brother, you see the landscape of the island, the two large volcanoes that are ever erupting, then sizzling into and combining with large waterfalls that are on the opposite side, creating this constant barrage of elements. That combination of heat and coolness giving the island its energy. You see forest jungles as far as the eye can see in one direction. You see other small little villages, and you see more blimps flying out of them as everybody is headed towards the head of the island, the head of Gi Dao.
Phanthery's gonna look around, be like, sometimes I love this scenery. I wish we could do this more often than once a year, floating up.
Yeah, me too. Maybe you'd like a closer look. Suddenly your brother grabs you and puts half of your body over the edge of the blimp, and the blimp The balloon starts moving back and forth as you're almost about to fall.
Nah, what are you doing?
Oh, don't you want a closer look? Isn't that what you said?
That's not what I meant.
Oh no, you're falling! Boy, a fall from a height like this will surely kill you.
Danthry's going to attempt to try to grab a hold of at least the ledge of the balloon so he doesn't try to fall over.
You do, but you feel yourself like you're just on the edge and you're just about to fall. And then suddenly your brother pulls you back up. You should have seen your face. You thought you were gonna die.
Wasn't funny. You almost killed me.
Oh, come on. If I wanted you dead, you'd be dead. He says with almost a serious tone.
Danthry's just going to look at him with eyes wide open. And then he's just going to, like, as his brother turns away or whatever, he's going to just, like, glare at him.
And there he is, your brother says, as ahead of you, all of those hundreds and hundreds of blimps have all now gathered up at the front of the island, where the head is completely submerged underwater currently, the head of Gi Dao. You see all of the other villagers, people from other villages. You see your parents across the way in their blimp, and they're just start shooting off fireworks. There's a great celebration as the sun slowly starts to set on the horizon. From this angle, you can see out into the ocean where you see that wall of storms that seems to completely encircle the island, a few miles out from the island itself. Finally, there you see the High Cleric in her blimp, and she sort of centers herself around all of you. She holds her arms out. Welcome to the next day. The greatest day of the year. The day of the great pilgrimage. One of you, and she points at, and her hand moves across, and as it crosses you, you sort of get filled with pride. One of you will be chosen.
She's talking about me.
One of you, great children of Gi Dao, you will be chosen, and you will go out into the outside world, and you will bring knowledge to our people. Who will it be, and when will your day come? Some as young as little Borno over there, and you see a younger turtle than you who was chosen a few years back, and he came back with some sort of book of knowledge, and everybody cheers at him. Or some as old as Escoborne over there, and you see another older turtle there who has been waiting his entire life to be chosen. He's just a very old guy, and he's wearing, you see, it looks like almost an old version of you, and he's got like even the same cornucopia seashell helmet on. He's wearing the same seaweed armor, and he's just like holding up a mace, like, yes, for Gi Dao, one day it will be me. Everybody cheers at him like, oh, he's waiting. Yeah. Yay. Or sometimes you're never chosen at all. And it's strangely, you feel like she's gesturing towards you. Suddenly, the water below her begins to bubble and shake. But we wait no longer! All hail Gi Dao! As she bows, and all the crowd goes, all hail Gi Dao! The turtles in their blimps all begin to bow as the ginormous, gargantuan head of the island rises from the waters. Long strands of huge seaweed, almost like a beard on its chin, as it rises up. father of all turtles, we await your word. Who will take the pilgrimage this year? She says. Gi Dao, the giant head, just sort of eyes pierce and look around. Suddenly he stops, and Thanthui, you feel like he's staring directly at you.
He's gonna choose me. He's gonna choose me.
As his large mouth slowly opens and he speaks, fate awaits in the Isles of Umbra, and only you can find it there. Namdor.
As Thanthui hears that name, he had a huge smile, and then as soon as he heard his brother's name, it just drops. And he's just like, what?
And your brother's like, yeah, I knew it, fuck yeah! And then all the turtles are like, yay! Fireworks start shooting off. You see your parents across the way are hugging each other. Like, oh my god, it's Namdor! The high cleric starts like clapping and shaking her hands as well. Everybody is celebrating, and you just feel like everything goes quiet around you as as Gi Dao just sort of blinks a little bit and then lets out a yawn. And then his head slowly sinks down back into the water. You feel a sinking darkness inside you, Thanthui. You feel such disappointment. You were so sure this was your year.
He's heartbroken, and just, like you said, everything around him is just silence, and he's just dumbfounded by that.
Suddenly, before you know it, Thanthui, the High Cleric's balloon is floating in front of yours. Namdor of Tortaka, you have been chosen by Gi Dao to venture forth. I present to you the holy symbol of Gi Dao. This symbol will allow you to use one of the maelstrom portals to venture out into the world. You will head to the Isles of Umbra, a human continent full of ancient treasures and mystery, and you will bring knowledge back to our people. And the crowd celebrates again as Namdor bows, and then the holy symbol of Gi Dao is put around his neck. And he just lets out a smile, and then he nudges you on the arm. He's like, I knew it wasn't gonna be you, you fucking nerd. Yeah, thanks guys, thanks. I'm Namdor. And everybody starts swooning and celebrating. And then suddenly Namdor goes, well, no time like the present. Bye, Mom and Dad. And he starts heading away with his hot air balloon. What? The crowd's celebrating.
Where are we going?
I'm leaving. I already got all my shit. I'm sure it'll only take me like a week to get something cool, and then I'll bring it back to Mom and Dad. They're gonna be so proud of me. Unlike someone.
Yeah, okay. Why am I coming with you?
You're not. You just happen to be here. Unless you want to just jump off, you could just do that.
No. I want to jump.
Oh, you sure? And you guys start traveling through. By this time, the sun has completely settled as you travel for several minutes over the island itself. Namdor seems to be headed towards one of the maelstrom portals that are surrounding the entire island. The only way to travel between them is by having a symbol of Gi Dao. Well, listen, I don't want you to touch any of my shit when I'm gone.
Why would I want to touch any of your stuff?
Because I got the coolest stuff ever. Unlike you.
Maybe cool to you.
Your stupid fucking card collection.
You know
I saw it. I saw your stupid card collection. What do you think, you're going to be one of them heroes, huh? You think you're going to be a Cedric Crow of the realm? You're nothing.
And what if I do? Then you'll be sorry.
Oh, come on, little brother. You couldn't hurt a fly.
You don't know me. You don't know everything. Land over there.
Well, you think you're tough because you kill squirrels and rabbits to make yourself feel tough? Trust me, everybody has their place. Like the old man back there. That's what your destiny is, brother. You're just gonna be stuck on this island from now until the day you die. And you're not gonna be anything. But me, I'm gonna return a hero. I'm gonna have myself hundreds and hundreds of babies with all of the turtle women I want. And you are gonna be stuck in the temple until you rot and die.
I'll show you. Just go land over there, and you can go on your own.
Over here, suddenly he turns quickly, and he turns, and you realize you're headed directly towards one of those volcanoes you saw earlier. Is it right here? Do you want to land here? Do you want to land in the volcano, brother? Is that what you want? We're getting closer and closer.
No,
is that where you want to go?
Over towards the
over that way?
opening
over there. So
the
directly
grass.
That's where you want to go.
Why are you going towards
right? You want to die?
Oh my gosh.
Is that what it is? Woo! This is gonna be fun.
Then you're gonna die with me.
And he's not letting go.
So Thanthree's gonna get angry, and then he's going to tackle his brother and try to gain control of the balloon.
Let go, you little shit. No, you're fucking going. Seriously, you're fucking. No! And then suddenly there's a large plume from the volcano. The heat suddenly takes the balloon, which then you feel yourself flip, and you guys start flipping back and forth as the balloon crashes against the side of a mountain. Your eyes flicker open, Thantwe. You hear ringing in your ears. There's water flowing against your face. And the water has blood running through it.
Gonna be dazed and disoriented. He's gonna kind of look around and try to see what's around him.
You look around, you seem to be at the top of one of the waterfalls. And you see just the balloon itself has been ripped apart and just strewn all over the place. You hear what sounds like almost like swinging back and forth of rope. As you slowly crawl up, get up to your feet, you feel the bruising against your side.
Oh my gosh. What happened?
The stars fill up the night sky at this point, and you walk up and you would hear a voice coming from over the cliffside where the rope is hanging.
Thantree's going to look over.
You look over the cliffside, and hanging off the cliff right next to the waterfall, and you're hundreds and hundreds of feet in the air, is your brother. And he's hanging. All the ropes around his body, his leg and his arm look broken. And he's just hanging there. And he's he spits up some blood. Thanthre, you... Wait, Thanthre, pull me up. Thanthre.
Thanthui's going to look over him, like look down at him, just kind of cock his head back and forth, and
His bloodshot eyes, he looks up at you. Brother, what are you doing? Fucking pull me up.
he wants help. He's just gonna turn his head back and forth, kind of like, just kind of taunting him a little bit.
And I'm really hurt here, man. Come on. I'm not joking around.
And then
I'm hanging here. You gotta pull me up, Thanthui.
And Thanthui's just gonna look at him and go, do you want me to pull you up?
Your brother startled a bit. What the fuck? Thanthui.
Oh, did you really think that I would be this dumb turtle, this useless type of person, this goody two-shoes type guy?
What? What the fuck's wrong with you?
You see, all these years I've been just waiting, biding my time, till the one day that I should have been chosen. But it became you. Do you know how that feels? Do you know how it feels to be bullied, ridiculed your entire life? He's gonna have like a jagged rock, and then he's gonna slowly cut a rope.
Oh, your brother falls a bit. And he looks up. What the fuck, Thanthui? This isn't you!
Of course not me. Why do you think I'm talking like this? And he continues to cut another rope.
Okay, listen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't mean to do anything like that. I didn't know I was hurting you.
You know, words are words from somebody like you. I know brutes like you. You're nothing. And, you know, I wasn't gonna go with this. I was just gonna let you continue bullying me and all this, but the second that Gi Dao chose you, that changed everything.
What?
That should have been me chosen, not you. So then he cuts another rope.
When you do, suddenly he's only being held on by his one arm and leg. Thanthui, I'll die!
That's the point.
What?
Nobody around here is going to believe. Nobody is around to know the entire true story. Only me. And do you think that they won't believe? Poor innocent little Thanthui.
You're sick! You're a monster!
The monster is Gi Dao for choosing you over me.
You won't get away with this.
Going to look at his brother and be like, you know, I'm just sick of pretending. I'm sick of waiting for fate. I will take my destiny by force. So Thanthui, as he says that, he's going to gather up the water that's around him and it's going to shove it, kind of force it into his brother's.
A hand of water coming out from the waterfall suddenly surrounds your brother and then just immediately moves down his throat. He starts choking as he's hanging there. The ropes start shifting.
So what Thanthui's going to do is he's going to finish cutting the rope to let his brother fall. So as he finishes cutting the rope, there's going to be a little bit of water coming back, and it's going to grab the talisman of Gi Dao.
Yeah, so the water just like suddenly becomes the hand again as you cut the last rope, and it grabs the talisman off his neck as you cut him, and your brother's body slowly becomes lifeless. The water starts pouring out from every orifice of his body. You were pushing it in so hard. It was just pouring out of his eyes, pouring out of his nostrils. His body was just convulsing as you were drowning him. And then finally you cut the last rope and his body just plunges down like a giant rock into the misty haze of the waterfall below. The symbol of Gi Dao rises up and then lands into the palm of your hand.
Danthry's going to look at it, and he's going to look down at his brother.
You can't see him. He's disappeared.
He's going to look where he would have gone and just be like, "Goodbye, brother. You should have been nicer to me when you had the chance." And Danthry's going to turn away, and then he's going to pick up all the gear, so helmets, mace, everything.
You pick up all of your brother's gear, his mace of cleansing waters, you have his holy symbol, and you pick up his shield. And what do you do?
Danthry's going to walk over to one of the maelstroms, and he's going to raise the holy symbol.
You walk up, it's a small little maelstrom that's constantly churning, and there's several of these around the island. It's said that they're connected to different places all around the realm, and that if you have a holy symbol, it will bring you there. So this holy symbol will bring you to the strange lands known as the Isles of Umbra. You hold it up. Suddenly it glows this faint blue in the night. And then the swirling vortex below you also turns that same color blue.
So Danthry's going to look at the maelstrom. He's going to turn around, just look at the island, look at the scenery and everything, and he's going to leap backwards into the maelstrom.
We pan back into your room, where Ophelia is leaning up against the desk with her arms crossed. This magical projection of Ophelia. You are more interesting than I give you credit for, if your story is true.
Oh, why wouldn't it be?
I have a good sense of these things. When you've lived as long as I have, you sort of do. You just don't seem like you have it in you to slay your own kin. Thankfully. And she sort of walks around the room. Then she just scowls at the cat again. But I mean, if you want to prove me right... Ophelia walks up and then puts up her arms and looks to the air. You could always just open up the Demonomicon and prove that you're this dastardly double.
And then Danthry will stab her in the stomach with the black crystal that summoned her.
She looks down at the wound with a bit of surprise as her body jolts a little bit. And suddenly, where the black crystal is hit, suddenly this sort of magic green haze starts to dissipate. And her eyes go wide as Ophelia is physically brought into the room as you stabbed her in the stomach. Her eyes widen in disbelief. She falls onto her back, the crystal still sticking out of her stomach. No! But how?
You can't figure this out. Aren't you supposed to be some sort of witch? It was very, very simple, really. While retrieving the Demonomicon from the 9 hells, I came across this. As he pulls out his Yagnoloth's tome.
Ophelia just like sort of listening to you, but at the same time just like trying to zap some magic into her wound. She just can't take out this crystal.
You can't stop this. The Yugoloths were quite skilled in their craft. This one held many secrets of magic I hadn't seen before. Necromancy is only one of them. Xanthri pushes the crystal deeper into her stomach with his foot.
She starts trembling as you hear her speak an incantation. She looks at you, her eyes full of rage.
A banishment spell? How juvenile. To think when I met you a few weeks ago, I thought you were one of the most powerful beings. One that would unlock my potential. And Xanthri just walks around the room, walks past Ophelia. But I was wrong. And Xanthri will wave his hand into the air as a putrid green magic spirals.
Suddenly, all of the runes that I mentioned earlier in the room start to glow a bright green, and they start to just emanate magic that surrounds Ophelia, and it's all shaped like a prison.
The Ophelia, this is a soul cage. A lesson I learned from those Yugoloth. With the right frequency of magic, you can bind any soul within it. So, I want to thank you for giving me this shard. And Xanthri's going to reach down to her and rip out the shard.
She starts just where the shard was, just starts bleeding, blood flowing out in a very gory fashion.
Xanthri's going to hold the shard and look at it and say, see, the book taught me that this is a soul fragment. A piece of you. And now I've used it to bring you here and bind you.
You are nothing but a child playing with fire. You don't know what you have wrought. I have lived for 1,000 years. I have traversed other worlds you couldn't imagine. You think you can bind me?
As that moment, Xanthri's using his blackened hand to conjure a deathly green hand that grabs Ophelia by the throat and raises her into He looks at her in the face. Blah, 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 blah. You're so boring. So cliche. You are powerless here, witch. And soon, you will be gone. Another obstacle in my way to greatness. I will get what I want from the Demonomicon, and I will bring a great power home to my people, whether they like it or not.
She struggles, her legs just shaking back and forth as you're basically force choking her with her soul bound to this runic circle.
I know what you've planned. I know when you first laid eyes upon the Demonomicon. The inscriptions on the outside are clear as day. Whoever opens the book will have their soul bound to Vecna. But I found a work around this. And yes, you see I am much smarter than you could ever imagine, Ophelia. Your soul is already bound to Vecna, and so I will use your soul as more of a catalyst to open up Demonomicon. you'll be nothing more than a key to open a lock forever.
She tries to spark magics out of her hand, and they start, but then they immediately fizzle away. Her eyes going bloodshot as she's choked.
And Stanthry just drops her to the ground.
She starts to grovel and squirm away. She's looking in all directions. She goes up to the door and tries to turn the doorknob.
That's not gonna help. Weren't you paying attention to me earlier? As Stanthry walks slowly towards his bed, and he reaches for his mace of cleansing water.
She turns back to you.
No, I was wrong to try and trick you. I see that now. Certainly.
Stanthry stops, interrupts her, and just takes his mace and just smashes her in the head.
Her teeth fall out the side. A purple, haze sort of moves in her eyes as if there's magic she's trying to expel, but she just can't. You've completely locked her. What do you do?
Stanthry just continuously pummels her into the head with the mace.
Over and over, you're smashing her with the mace. The runes, the blood moving in all directions, forming symbols upon symbols of necromancy magic all over the floor from her very blood. The runes start to glow a bright, bright green and ignite. And
Stanthry, after he bashes her head in, while Stanthry looks at his mace, just covered in blood.
so when you do that and you look at your mace, you notice that there's a crack in the mace. The clear blue waters within are now glowing a sinister green, and this crack, they're now leaking out. No longer is there any wonder. You have embraced the darkness within you. And no longer will Gi Dao's blessed items work in the way that they were intended.
Stanthry's just gonna toss the mace aside, fixes his little top hat, kind of makes himself a little bit more proper looking. Oh, he's going to grab the soul fragment shard. He's going to speak an incantation, and as the runic circle collapses inwards towards the shard. Just trying to think if I want to make words or just make a...
And when you use that incantation, suddenly all of the energies flow inwards. You'd hear the screeching call of Ophelia as her soul is literally consumed and then bound to this crystal that's in your hand, the magical energy dispersing. And your room is quiet again. Blood spattered all over your body and all over your floor, though.
So Stanthry is going to walk over towards the bed, and he's going to...
The whispering sounds of evil coming from the Demonomicon. Yeah.
And he's good. So he's going to pick it up, and then he's going to place the shard into the front of the book.
Yeah, and there's a little indentation there, and you place the shard in there, and it's weird. It's as if the book just grows over the shard a little bit. And then there's this green glow. And as you do, the skin-bound hand clasp unlocks. And the metal eye lock blinks and then unlocks.
And then he will open the book.
You open the book, your eyes would go wide as you start to read the words within. Your soul not bound to the Lich Vecna, as you use this piece of Ophelia, her very soul, locked within the crystal, to circumvent that spell. The green glow illuminates your face as you get up onto your bed and start to read. A sinister smile is all we see. And that's where we're going to end the episode. I think this is going to throw people for a fucking loop.
I hope so.
I think it's going to throw people for a fucking loop because they're going to be like, oh, he obviously gets picked. That was the whole point, circumventing expectations, right? It's like, he's obviously going to be picked and then maybe he'll have a fight with his brother. They're not going to think his brother gets picked. He was never meant to leave. He did anyway. He took it by force. He's evil. Like straight up chaotic evil.
I love it.
Okay. Wow. That was really something. How many of you out there expected that? What did you think about this origin of Thanthui? And we still have 2 more to give you. One for Bonnie and one for Belgarath. And just so you all know, no, the guys are completely unaware of Thanthui's little secret. How long until they find out, and how will they react? I guess we'll find out. Make sure you stay tuned to the Stubborn Heroes. Michael, thank you. And did you have fun? Was that good?
I
think we shot the ideas back and forth for so long, and then it was like, this is it. This is it. We fucking got
my moment.
We really haven't had a lot of Thanthui stuff going on, but this sort of explains it. You've always been in the background, watching, biding your time. And there's been a reason for that. And I like this idea, too, of like the people you bring back from the dead using the water and stuff. They all kind of look like your brother when you killed him. You know, it's just like it all calls back to that as well. I like to have reasons for things, the continuity. All right. I want to thank everybody for listening. Don't forget to go to stubbornheroes.com. Don't forget to subscribe to us. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. It means a lot to us. And also, if you're interested, you want to support the show, go to Patreon, patreon.com. We have brand new Patreon merch that we've just announced coming out in September. It's going to be new t-shirts, stickers, all that stuff. And the t-shirt and sweater that's going to be coming out for Patreon is actually going to be, that's right, fucking chaotic evil Thanthui using the Demonomicon to summon an undead demon. You can't get anything better than that. It's some kick-ass art by Nakara. Right, Michael?
It is. Actually,
yeah, I'm like, well,
really, really good.
Am I talking to myself?
No, yes.
And so you want to get that shit, you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/stubbornheroes. And until next time, goodbye.
I'll see you in next episode.
In this dark night, it's too hard for me to say now if the rays of hope will shine again someday, and if I might be spared as the tempest starts to swell. At this point, it's just too dark to tell. Was the stars guiding me to God's shores now? Was the devil set me drifting once more? Will these clouds ever lift and the map again reveal? At this point, it's just too dark to tell. If these green-eyed blues would lighten up, if my nature would shake this wicked spell, if this midnight sky would brighten up, if my ears could hear a voice saying, all will be well, then all is well, all is well. I once was found, now again I'm lost. On merciless waves I am tossed. I would tell you of his grace and how it was I fell, but but some tales are just too dark to tell. If these green-eyed blues would lighten up, if my nature would shake this wicked spell, if this midnight sky would brighten up, if my ears could hear a voice saying, all will be well, then all is well, all is well. I once was found, but now again I'm lost. On merciless waves I am tossed. I would tell you of his grace and how it was I fell, but some tales are just too dark to tell.